When it comes to sports cars, especially European sports cars, well, they're very expensive, one, to own, to maintain, and also to modify. You might think I'm exaggerating about the modification part, but this M Performance exhaust I've got on my car, full titanium, it sounds incredible, but it costs $10,000, correct? But I mean, for this sound, I'm not complaining. So if you compare that $10,000 exhaust to an exhaust you can buy for a Mitsubishi Lancer, for example, for $600, that's a little difference in price, only $9,400. JDM versus Euro, there's a big difference in modifying them. But there's one unanimous mod that in any car, muscle, European, supercar, anything, they'll make a crazy sound difference for a fraction of the price, and by a fraction I mean $500 and under. Well, that is what this video is about. The most underrated sound mod you can get for any car. Now, sadly, this mod is mainly for charge with forced induction, which means turbocharged or supercharged, but regardless, even if you put it on a naturally aspirated car, it's still gonna give it better performance. If you've clicked on by now, you know I'm talking about cold air intakes. Every car comes standard with an air box that sucks in air that goes into the motor. Now, as we know, a motor needs air, a spark, and fuel. So every time you increase one of those, it increases the performance. So if we put a better air intake on there, it's gonna suck in more air and theoretically give it more performance. Performance is one thing, but sound is another. Because these air intakes are open, there's no casing or anything holding them in, you can actually hear the air being sucked through the motor, and it gives it that whoosh sound that everyone wants. If you know anything about BMWs, you know that this is a BMW M4 and it's got the S55 motor in it, which is a 3-litre twin turbocharged motor, which is perfect for what we want to do. 2 turbos means a lot of air needs to be sucked in and a lot of sound's going to come out of the motor. And for my car, the M4, they really vary in price. If you wanted to go all the way out, you could get an Eventuri carbon air intake kit, which costs around $5,000. If you wanted to cheap it out, you could go on eBay or AliExpress and find one for $250, $300, just cone air intakes. There are a lot of brands that resell them, but most of them are actually the same ones you find on eBay. Of course, there are still custom-made ones, but the eBay ones and the cone intakes you see on reseller sites are pretty much the same. And because this is a cheap build, excluding the exhaust, I chose the cheap ones. And myself bought a pair of intakes for, I think it was $260, landed here at my house. And well, the performance isn't much of a difference. Yes, the Eventuri ones are better by like 10 or 15 horsepower, but the sound is very similar. And along with these turbo whoosh noises, these intakes, like I said, will increase the power a bit. I've seen claims from 7 horsepower all the way up to 20 horsepower gains from stock, but there's only one real way to test that, and that's to put the car on the dyno stock, do a test, put the intakes on, and do another test, and you can see the difference there. I'm not gonna be doing that, but I'm just doing it for the sound anyways. Let's go do it. So the air intakes aren't a hard mod to install at all. Obviously it depends car to car, but on the M4 at least, I mean, me with barely any mechanical experience, I'd say it'd take me about 40, 45 minutes. Now, you'd think I'd do it myself, but I like to work smarter and not harder. You see, I've got these LCI taillights that I've been meaning to put on the car, and I've got a friend of mine who's actually an ex-BMW technician for about 6 or 7 years. So he's doing that for me because that's a pretty big job. At the same time, you know, why not kill 2 birds with 1 stone? He's gonna put the air intakes in for me, and he's also gonna change my front kidney grills, because as part of the air intakes, you gotta disconnect the front bumper, which you need to do for the kidney grills anyways. So I went there to do the tail lights, but I'm getting him to do all the hard work for me, and I'll get to enjoy after paying him a bit of cash. So the main sound difference you're gonna hear is from outside the car, in front of it, where the intakes are. But this is what the car sounds like from the inside the cabin, completely stock with the stock air intakes. So the noise obviously comes when the turbos suck in air, but here, I'll do a pull in 3rd gear. Can't really hear it. You can kind of hear it whistling to build up a bit of air, but nothing of significance, which is what we want. So I'm about to drop it off to my friend's house now to do the work. I'm leaving the car there overnight because it's pretty late, and he's got work tomorrow, so he's gonna do it tonight and tomorrow after work, and hopefully tomorrow night I'll be picking up the car. Hopefully it's pretty smooth, the tail lights, the intakes, and the grille. I mean, he's done it all a million times, so fingers crossed everything goes to plan. And I'll be showing this video of me at the house with everything installed with a big smile on my face. Did it happen? Yes, Nick from the past, it did happen. As we can see, these cone intakes have been installed on both sides and a new pipe connecting the 2 in between. Along with that, the other mods have been done also, and I'll show those soon. But this has got a very different sound, as you'll see from the reaction clips. So I've picked up the car from my mechanic's house. He's done all the work. and I am gonna do this as a live reaction. I actually haven't heard it yet to spool up and make the turbo noises, but I'm excited to hear it. See if it's worth my, whatever it was, $270 mod plus the install. So let's see if there's any difference. I mean, I'm sure there would be. I know it's not as loud as the front mount intakes, but I know it's still got a bit of sound. So let me go in manual mode and see what it sounds like when I try to build up a bit of boost manually. You can definitely hear it. The thing's sneezing. I don't know how loud it is in the cabin through the camera, but I can hear it nice and loud. Let me open the window a bit, see if you can hear it from outside as well. All right, let's do it here. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. So you can tell from my first reaction, I am, let's say, a happy customer, that's for sure. So the cone air intakes have been installed. As we can see, I've actually decided to leave the bottom part of the previous intake. That's because it actually directs more air into them and lets less debris get into it from underneath if anything gets in there. We also had to upgrade the pipe that connected through to this intake into the motor there. We've put the carbon grills on as well. No more M4 badge, now it's just carbon. And also, personally, my favorite mod I've done on this car, even though it's just a cosmetic mod, I'll get from the back, it has to be these LCI tail lights. It just looks so much newer. Honestly, in my opinion, makes the car look 10 years newer just from different tail lights on the car. I know it's about the air intakes, but look how beautiful that is. And all the intake noises were blocked off because, as you can see, it was screwed on from the top so no noise could escape. Now all the noise is going to escape. And you'll see now in the comparison clips why this is an amazing value mod. So again, not sure if you can hear it, but it does make a light sucking sound of bringing the air in. We'll do it with the window closed. I can hear it even less with the window closed, so that doesn't help. As you just saw, I was quite happy with those results. In my opinion, there's no mod for close to this price range that will give you that much satisfaction. It's just so satisfying. And every time I drive the car, I just want to hit the boost to hear these intakes sucking in that air and that blow off noise. So let me know, is there a better first or cheap car mod you can do on a car like this? Because in my opinion, on this or any turbo or supercharged car you've got, that noise is worth every single dollar. Let me know down below. Follow, like, subscribe. I'll see you next week in next week's video, and comment as well, what other videos should I be filming with this car or any car?